Alan Wilson, South Carolina Attorney General. Sir, welcome to National Report, and thanks for coming on. I mean, this back and forth over bathrooms continues on, and now we understand that South Carolina wants SCOTUS to take a look at it. Can you tell us why you feel that way?
Well, first off, this is a very commonsensical bill that the South Carolina General Assembly passed and the governor signed into law several months ago that basically says schools receiving taxpayer-funded dollars here in South Carolina must enforce a rule that only biological males can go into spaces where other biological males are, and the same is true with biological females. It doesn't go based on what you identify with, but what you biologically are. This is about promoting public safety for our students here in South Carolina and also supporting and protecting privacy rights of our students here in South Carolina. Why are 99.8% of all students bending the knee to the 0.02% of the students who have that affliction of gender dysphoria? This is about promoting and protecting safety in South Carolina schools, and that is why we are going to the U.S. Supreme Court.
And there was a case earlier this month, I'm sure you're aware of, in South Carolina where a trans teenager was suspended for using the boys' restroom. The parents challenged the suspension and the appeals court ruled in favor of the student. But I wanted to read the statement from a representative for said student and for our viewers at home as well. It says, South Carolina wants the Supreme Court to take the extraordinary remedy of intervening in an ongoing lower court appeal, all because the state wants to stop one ninth grader from using boys' restrooms. While that appeal proceeds, this case does not present the sort of emergency that would justify such intervention, end quote. It kind of points to your 0.02% reference that you made there. Can you respond to that statement, AG?
Well, they're focusing on the one ninth grader. I'm focusing on the hundreds and possibly thousands of South Carolina students and ninth graders who would like to go to a bathroom, a restroom, or a locker room only with people of their biological sex. Again, the U.S. Supreme Court has already signaled in another case that we are likely to succeed on the merits of this eventually, and that's also an element that the Fourth Circuit should have considered. Again, this is about promoting and protecting privacy and safety for as many students as we possibly can. Again, the ninth grade student who has gender dysphoria and is a transgender student can still be accommodated with other restrooms like gender neutral or teachers' restrooms without forcing all the other kids to have their privacy and safety compromised.
Yeah, sounds like there's an alternative solution that's on the table here, and yet this individual still, a girl, wanted to use the boys' bathroom. We'll see what happens when it reaches SCOTUS. It's going to be so fascinating, potentially for the justices to weigh in. But I'm wondering what this looks like for day-to-day enforcement. I mean, such a hassle to think that you'd be potentially patrolling who's going in and out of these restrooms.
Look, this is not a hard issue for all of human history and the study of evolution of biology. You know, you think people would understand that this is not something we should be arguing and debating about. Protecting our students in public spaces is something that the state has a right to do. The Scarametti decision, which dealt with transgender surgeries and hormone treatments, recognized that the states have a right to pass sensible laws that protect minor children from those extreme measures. Well, this is no different. The state has a right to protect its students' privacy and safety when going into public spaces and public schools. And so this is something the state has a right to do. The Supreme Court has recognized that in other circuits, and it's going to recognize it here. It's just a matter of time. I'm very guardedly optimistic that at the end of the day, South Carolina will ultimately prevail on this law.
And we will watch for that to unfold. We do appreciate the time. Attorney General Alan Wilson of South Carolina. Good to see you, Alan. Thank you so much.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.